It's mid-morning and Mary Padar is on her way to work. She arrives at the Roots Project Center in the Nimratalata area of Juba, the capital of South Sudan, where she'll spend most of her day with other South Sudanese women doing an age-old tradition, beading. The Roots Project was started in 2009 with the aim of bringing together women from across South Sudan to do arts and crafts as a way of preserving and promoting their culture while making a living and providing for their families. Mary Padal joined the Roots Project after she was demobilized from the Sudan People's Liberation Army, SPLA, in 2010. For 25 years, she was with the army at the front lines, where she cooked and encouraged fighters not to give up their fight for independence. With relative peace after the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement between Khartoum and the then Southern rebels, and a referendum that guaranteed South Sudan its independence, Mary gave up her army days to be closer to her children and grandchildren. She also gave up her camouflage for corsets. As a young girl, she had learned to make beaded corsets from her Dinka community, and for her, it was something that she could easily pick up, although she had not done it for years.
We were taught by our grandparents to make these items from beads, and it's always used by women for beauty. We wear it so that people will see us. The corset was worn by the ladies from the rich families because it was expensive and those who made them were few. If you work with beads, you will always get something in return.
In just 2 years, the center has become the melting pot for South Sudanese culture, with about 60 women from across the new nation's cultural divide, making traditional necklaces, belts, headpieces, earrings, and corsets that portray a culture that was on the brink of extinction due to decades of civil war.
I started the Roots Project because we, in South Sudan, have a lot to offer in terms of arts and crafts, but because of the war, all of these things were not produced as much as before, and it was very hard to come across traditionally made arts and crafts.
One common factor amongst the women is that prior to the Roots, they had little or no means of making money. Some of them were from abusive relationships that saw them heavily reliant on others in order for them and their children to survive. Even after its independence, South Sudanese women are faced with a lot of challenges.
Women are not empowered. They don't have the ability to make their own money. They don't have the ability to basically control what happens around them in terms of their household, their environment, also their children. They're the primary caregivers at home. So they needed that support, basically, to be given the opportunity to become more self-sufficient.
Although Mary's beaded corsets are guaranteed to draw a crowd when displayed, she never thought the work of her hands will one day pay off and give her the opportunity to go places. The Roots Project has been invited to showcase Mary's work alongside other artwork from the center at the Santa Fe Art Market in New Mexico, USA. The UNESCO-acclaimed festival is the largest of its kind in the world and aims at preserving folk art traditions. Mary is among 130 artists selected from 400 participants worldwide and will be representing South Sudan as a cultural ambassador in July this year.
What I will take to America is the work that I and other women have done. What I do in South Sudan is what I will show to them, so that they know we are making a living out of it. And if they like our work, they will buy the art from South Sudan. It does not matter where they are from, whether they are from Kenya, Uganda, Zaire, or the Arabs. If they like beads, they buy them.
The Roots Project hopes to preserve South Sudanese culture through the art and crafts that the women make. But it also hopes that the women's lives will be changed and that they can in return influence others in their community to work and better themselves. The center also provides literacy and numeracy classes for its members, as well as meals for the women and children that come to the center. With just a little encouragement, the hard work of the women at the roots is beginning to pay off. But a lot more is needed to bring South Sudanese culture, arts and crafts to a place where it can compete with its neighbors in the region and the rest of the world.